Hey folks, it's Greg and you're watching Greg's Country Cabin Outdoors. Hope you're having a great day. I was asked to do a video showing how to reseason a cast iron skillet. And so that's what I'm going to try to do today. The skillet that I've got sitting on the front of the stove right there is one that a friend gave me, and it was all rusted up. It was in bad shape. And I told him I wanted to make a video on reseasoning a cast iron skillet, so he loaned it to me and I'm reseasoning it for him. What I did originally was I took it, it was completely covered with rust, and I put it in the kitchen sink here at the cabin and filled it with vinegar and let it sit overnight. And so this morning, after I got up, got motivated, I took a look at it, and it didn't take anything to rinse the rust right out of it. And then I took a scouring pad and scoured it. So you're looking at a clean skillet. It's hot. I heated it up to dry it out because if you don't get the moisture out of them, they re-rust. But anyway, there it is, and it's ready to go into the oven. Now, I've got the oven heating up right now. It just beeped, so it's 550 degrees. But I've got another skillet over here that I want to put in there and cook the residue off of it. It's caked up pretty good, not in too good a shape. So I'm going to stick it in there and let it heat up, stink the place up for a little bit, and we'll get back to it. Now, once I get this temperature turned back down to 400 degrees in the oven, I'll coat this with olive oil and put it in there for 45 minutes. Bring it out, coat it with olive oil again, put it back in for another 45 minutes. Keep doing that. And just put a real thin layer of olive oil on it. You don't want it thick. Thick will gum it up and make it sticky. In the long run, it'll just mess it up worse. Okay, I got that pan out. You can see it's smoking. Basically what that did is burnt this crust, and I'll let it cool down completely before I try to scour it. But anyway, then this one's going to go in. So I've turned the temperature down to 400 degrees, and I'll slide that in for about 40 minutes. Okay, it's time to take the pan out. As you can see, it's starting to darken up already. I'll get a coat of oil on that and we'll put it back in. I'm not putting a lot of oil on this. I've already got this napkin pretty well soaked. And that's plenty. That's all I need. And look at the color on that already. Put it back in. Come back in about 40 minutes. Okay, it's time for another coating. Well, doggone it. Look at that. Looking beautiful, isn't it? I'm going to put it right on top of this pan because it's going in there next. Way too much oil. Way too much oil. Absorb that out of there because I don't need it all. to get a thicker hot pad. Pan's hot, 400 degrees. Nice and black, and that's the way we like them, nice and black. So I'll put that in there. And this one's ready to go in. We'll slide that in right next to it. We've got just enough room in this oven for those two pans. And we'll hit it for another 40 minutes. Okay, time to oil them again. That one's coming along really nicely. And the first one is just about done. It's caramelized, which means it's got a kind of a bronze look. That's about how much oil you need. We'll come back in 40 minutes and see how close we are to being done. With a brand new pan, it can take up to 8 times of doing this to get it the black color that you want. And the reason I turned it down to 400 degrees from 500 is because 500 is hot enough to actually burn the residue that's on the pan, which is the seasoning. 400 degrees to 425 is what you want to properly season. That just bakes that oil into the pan so that it's ready for cooking. And that gives you the non-stick surface that you want. Okay, it's time to check them again. And I do believe that is perfect. I'm going to put one more thin coat on it and set it aside to let it cool down. That is a well-seasoned frying pan, and it was nothing but solid rust when I got it. It's looking really good. I'll set that up here and let it cool down. We'll get the other one out of the back of the oven there. And then oil it down. Now, I'm only doing the surface. You can do the back sides too if you want to. It doesn't hurt at all to have a little seasoning on there. but right now I'm just doing the frying side, the usable side. And we'll put that one in for another 40 minutes. So for those of you who are wondering how you maintain these frying pans, I'll give you a little information here. I don't know the age of this frying pan. I don't even know where it was made. It wasn't. If it was made in the USA, it was before 1964. Yes, I do know it. It's a Lodge. Those 3 indentations tell me it's a Lodge. Anyway, these frying pans are extremely simple to maintain. When you cook something in them, it shouldn't stick. It just shouldn't stick. If it does stick, what you do when you're done cooking, doing your cleanup, this pan is cooled down, you put water in it, put it on the stove, bring it to a hard boil. Let it boil enough that you've got a full boil on the entire pan. Shut it off, let it cool. Then you can take a plain old plastic scraper, just like this, and after it's cooled down, you can scrape all of that loose food off of there. Once that loose food is scraped off of there, you wipe it out with a paper towel, rinse it, wipe it out again to make sure that it's clean. Do not use soap. Don't ever use soap on one of these frying pans, ever. Put it back on the stove and warm it up. Don't get it hot, just warm it up. Take a little bit of olive oil and smear it on there just like I did this the last time, and it's good to go. I cooked bacon and eggs in this morning, and there wasn't anything wrong with it. I've already cleaned it and hung it back up with a couple of others that I've been cleaning up while I've been doing this demonstration on how to season your pans. The thing about a well-seasoned frying pan is that food will not stick to it. It's better than Teflon, primarily because when you cook with iron, you actually get iron in your food, and iron's good for you. When you cook with Teflon, you get Teflon in your food, and Teflon is not good for you. And if you use a metal spatula or turner, you're going to scrape it and you're going to scratch it. With this, all you're going to do is scratch a little bit of the excess food off of it. And that food is seasoned. It's not going to cause you any damage. It's not going to cause you any harm. It's not going to make you sick because it's already been cooked on there, and there's really nothing but the char or the carbon left over. You get a few flavors, and if you cook with potatoes and onions like I do, you'll get an onion flavor. When I brown up burger, whether it's deer, hamburger, sausage, whatever, I'll chop up an onion and put in there. That adds to the flavor, but that also adds to the flavor of the next meal that you put in there. So you want to keep in mind when you're using these things what you're putting in them and what you're cooking with, because all those flavors, when you're cooking with them and you're doing it right, will perseverate into your next meal. It's a good hint. It's also good to know, and it's easy to maintain. There's nothing to it. Wipe it out, put a little oil on it, and you're good to go. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. And then click that little bell icon down at the bottom to make sure you get notified when I put up a new video. Okay, so it's been a pretty successful day. I managed to get these 2 pans seasoned for my friend. The one that I showed you earlier that I was putting in the oven to burn the crust off of was actually cracked, so there was no point in restoring it. But these 2 are good to go. I also cleaned up my fish pan and our large skillet and these 4 frying pans. So we've got 5 total frying pans that we use out here. Our fish pan, which is just a deep skillet. We've got a small Dutch oven and a large Dutch oven, and then this pressed metal pan. And we very seldom use a pressed metal pan. It's just an occasional thing. It's great for cooking biscuits in the oven. So anyway, I managed to get this kitchen area cleaned up and looking halfway decent. It's not perfect, not by any means, but I'm a man, so what do you expect, okay? Thanks for watching.